Hello, so I'm going to go through a few books I got today from our local council with its recycling centre has like a book about. It's got a place that sells books. It's got basically a recycling shop where they've basically people donate stuff. So it's like a dirtier and more open version of a charity shop. So so you've got here two ones by Marks and Spencer here about British history, and a book about weird creatures from elsewhere, from mythical creatures. So we'll go through this. So the British history books. The thing I like about these is what I like about any book that I'd use for collage is the illustrations, and the illustrations here are top notch. So there's some great. So you look how well drawn these are. So there's since it's historical, it's going to have. I think it's going to be mostly for weird artwork because there's something to social. Most of the social commentary stuff wouldn't have too much of these oldie type images. So it's less of the political stuff, but it's still really good. So you can see when these were printed. 2001, so that's really good for something that's I say so recent, it's 24 years ago, but as far as the kind of artwork I use, this is pretty new, because I generally don't use anything this recent, because this is I mean, that's a great picture to throw in somewhere just to make things mad. So I don't usually use anything that is that this recent, because usually they've got like things like an arrow pointing over there, or text over it, or it's what the images are quite small to cram a lot of things in. There's not a lot of negative white space, or there's not enough to let. I mean, that this picture's great. Look on him. These are a great one. These are great ones to throw things in just to make things a bit mad. But yeah, the newer kids encyclopedias, they don't allow an image to breathe. Try and cram in as much as they can for the pages they've got, which I can understand why they're doing that. So here, so you've got a lot of images like this, sort of mythical monsters, whether they're real or not. So these are some pretty okayish. I didn't look. It's pretty okayish images. I didn't look through the pictures very much. When I bought it, I just had a quick look, and it was like I knew there was going to be some good work with this. See, that's good. That one's a good one to use. It's a shame this one is split through the middle the way it is. I mean, I may be able to, if I'm very careful, separate a bit, but I'm not sure. I don't think so. It's a shame. That's a good image as well. Again, throw something. These kind of images here are great to just throw in things to be mad. So there aren't really anything in the way of actual main pieces, other than if you get an image and extend bits of it, like that. Actually, that rock here might be shape here might be a problem, but there are ways and means around that. And actually, one of the ways around it is I will just cut that, and I will just cut around there to shape a top for it, or I put something on top of it where it's kind of coming over it. So lots of not fantastically big images, but there's some the really good ones are really good and would be very interesting to put in. So lots of little there's a lot of little images that create the extra sauce, I should say, and the extra flavour to a piece. So This is a pretty old book, actually. Let's see when this was made. First printed 1984. So this is really more around the time where I of the main era of images books I would end up getting, because I started doing this in the mid to late 90s. So it would make sense that some of the books that I would use would come would be from around this time, because some of the people I used to buy from charity, obviously charity shops, car boot sales, which America you have yard sales, in the UK we have car boot sales, where I mean you do have some yard sales, that's become more common these days, but car boot sales where a certain place will announce they're going to have one, and you go drive up there with your car, and a little fold up table usually, and you'd pay a certain amount for that pitch, and you would just sell your old stuff, and if you're lucky you broke even, or you'd usually try and break even. If lucky, you made a little bit of money. So, and people would haggle, which is what I hate. But so it would be around that time, the reason why I would get picture in books from around the mid 80s or the late 70s, around that time, is because obviously people were people's kids had people would be bought these for their kids, and they'd grown up by now, and they were just clearing stuff out their attic or out of their old rooms and stuff, and that's why I would end up getting a load of these, and that's why they're a lot rarer now, and this is why some people will find it absolutely terrible that I'm cutting these up. This is a good image, actually, this first one, but I would be almost impossible to do anything with unless I was able just to stick stuff on and then obscure that somehow. So I wonder if I would be able to do that. It would be an interesting product. It would be quite a rigid piece as well. It'd be fairly interesting. Right, so let me know what you think. Like, share and subscribe. My description has my link tree, which has my merchants and my socials. It also has a link to my Patreon, and that's a good way of helping me out. And a really good way of helping me out that doesn't cost you anything is just to, like I said, like, share and subscribe, and tell people about my work. If I can get enough, get enough viewers and enough subscribers, and I have that now, I could start to make a bit of money just from views, and that would be lovely. So get lots of other people watching it, and the more hours the better. So let me know what you think, and I shall speak to you soon. Thank you.